against the defending champion in the Australian Open, Yevgeny Kafelnikov. We're going to join the match in the first set. Kafelnikov leading 4-love and serving. Agassi needed to warm up. Commentary from Todd Woodbridge and John Barrett.
Forced error there. Difficult sometimes to convey the pace at which they're playing. Seen from the side, it's much more apparent, but when you watch it end on, the speed at which the ball is being hit is not always as apparent. But believe me, they're hitting it.
Something a little unusual there. We saw Andre Agassi miss-hit a returner serve off the frame, and he is probably the best returner in the game. And to see him sort of shank one is very unusual.
Lucky there, just slipping the edge of the line. It seems that Kafelnikov has come out here determined to go full blast from the start, as he has done, even on second serves. Now this vintage Agassi, getting his man on the move and creating the gap here and finding the mark perfectly. A typical Agassi rally. And the pressure beginning to tell now on Kafelnikov. And the only game, a break of serve. So Agassi's serving department has got to improve if he's going to make a mark here.
Yes, but it's not from the lack of first serves into play. Right now he serves 73% for those first two service games, which is good. But it's obviously what he's doing in the rallies at this stage. And up until the point there, Kafelnikov served 2 double faults in that game. But up until then, there had barely been an unforced error by Yevgeny. And that's the first sign of perhaps a little bit of a concentration lapse, or just the standard that he started coming down a little bit. And that's what Andre will be looking for, waiting for him to come back down to a level where he can sort of get into the match with him.
Agassi today playing his 4th consecutive Grand Slam final, not since 1969. That happened. Rod Laver, and he said that it was nice to be compared with Rod Laver, somebody he respects greatly.
And how great was it that this year at the Australian Open that we renamed what was Melbourne Park the Rod Laver Arena. I think that's only fitting for such a great champion.
Absolutely. A nice ceremony on the Sunday before the championships began. It was conducted out here. It was renamed. On the board then, Agassi 1-4. Great battle of wills going on here. Neither man wanting to give way, both determined to show that their ground strokes are superior.
Lovely deep approach, getting Andre running, and then Letcourt setting up an easy put away. Of the two players, though, Yevgeny is the one who's more comfortable coming into the net, having been, as well as a Grand Slam singles winner.
Oh. Well, there's an overrule, the first of the match. Wayne McEwen decided.
Wayne, you just overruled, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Don't.
It was pretty clear on drive.
Well, Wayne McEwen, very experienced official, clearly saw that the ball to the baseline at the near end had been long.
Brad Gilbert shaking his head there. He's sitting right on that line. Hard to tell from that angle. As I was saying just a moment ago, Yevgeny playing a lot of doubles tournaments throughout the year, having won the French Open twice, and he did play in the doubles championship here. So he's very comfortable, a very good volleyer too.
And almost as if that overrule has inspired Agassi with greater effort. Absolutely gritting his teeth and going for broke here.
Giving back a little bit of the same medicine with that backhand down the line, drawing him a little bit out of court. Just a little short swing with a, you see him just take it back there, bang.
Well, there's a big psychological blow there he struck. Steffi will be delighted about that. 15-40 down on the overrule. Came storming back. And now I think the match is truly joined. Beginning to miss a few now. Cunningly walking into the shadow of the partly closed roof. It's always set at this position, so as you see, there's a spot of shadow at the end of each court, at each end of the court. And I think in the hot years, many people have sort of waited in the shadow and used it. But today, a lovely temperature.
One of the better days we've had here in Melbourne for the championship. We've had lots of drizzle and cool temperatures for an Australian summer.
So the errors multiplying from the racket of Kafelnikov. Top temperature promised today of 24. That's quite bearable.
Well, he picked the right side to go to. He took a guess and just couldn't control it. It was a good overhead because it was put up very, very high. They're the difficult ones to hit as the ball's coming down, straight down and not at an angle. One more break point.
And we're back on serve. And the ferocity, the intensity of Agassi at the moment is wonderful to behold, isn't it?
Well, it is when we just see that those few errors that Kafelnikov has made from being up 4-love has allowed Andre to get back into the set. Now I think it's going to be difficult for Yevgeny to stop that momentum that's built up now.
You talk about his activity in singles and doubles. He's one of the few top singles men, along with Rafter and occasionally Philippoussis, who does play doubles. And again, last year, he played more than anybody else on the tour. The 5th time in the last 6 years. He's played something like 136 last year, but he's been up as high as 170.
Yes.
Astonishing,
it's amazing. He's a real workhorse. I believe, too, that at times he's played too much tennis, and that has stopped him from perhaps winning a little bit more in the majors that he could have, although his performances are always good. But he'll play a lot of tournaments where he'll lose first round and have a bad week. And last year, I think he played something like 14 weeks in a row, which is just unheard of from anybody. And but he manages to do it. And I mean, one of the amazing things is he doesn't get injured, because that's what you're trying to avoid if you're playing that much, is hurting yourself. So we have new balls. Agassi to serve at 3-4. Really starting to find the zone with the ground strokes now, Andre. Just sees that opening and just hits it straight into the gap.
Well, there's another clean winner from a good serve. And he's improving in that department. He was down at about 25% of first serve points going in one. It's now up to 40%. Oh, well, if you're going to take that sort of risk and make it too good.
This was the point that I mentioned earlier about getting Andre moving. It's difficult to change the direction of a shot from down the line cross court every point, but if you can do it with Andre, that's the way that you could break his game down. Really had some chances here, Kafelnikov. Another opportunity there, and didn't get the ball back into play. He's been up 4-love, had 15-40 at 4-love. Might be giving too many free ones back.
Lovely tennis. Sensing the moment to move in behind that lovely approach and covering well for what was in the end an easy volley. But it was the depth of the approach that made it. Back in the lead.
Just when you would have thought that Andre looked like he was going to sort of take a little bit of control, he loses his serve.
Well, I think it was taken from him, the bludgeoning that he received at the hands of Kafelnikov. Quite wonderful. Cut out the errors that time. Not surprising that at the moment he's hit more unforced errors than Agassi, 15-9 in these early stages, but he's going for broke so much, it's inevitable. He's also hit a lot more winners, of course, 10-4. And another shanking shot.
Yeah, it's so unusual to see him miss-hit.
Well, Larry Stefanki was absolutely right. He's so hard mentally today, Kafelnikov. Right up for this one. Oh, what a rally!
Well, that one's going to make the hot shot reel, that's for sure. An unbelievable point, and an important point also.
Several times, both of them at absolute full stretch. There was a recovery from Agassi that fell almost in the corner. And would you believe it, a clean winner. Well, he took the risk, and it paid handsome dividends, because now he's at double set point. Well, you have to question the choice of shot there. Certainly it was a surprise. He hasn't attempted to do that yet. And I'm not sure it was the moment to do it. Set point. It would have bounced high enough for Agassi to have got there in plenty of time, too. Rebound ace is a difficult surface on which to use the drop shot. The ball bounces so high. But he's done it.
First set, 6 games to 3.
So into the second set, no breaks of serve. Kafelnikov serving 3-4 down.
This year, for the first time, everybody starts on January the 1st with no points. And the winner of these championships, for instance, will win 200 points. The leader at the moment is young Leighton Hewitt with 70, because he won the tournaments in Adelaide and Sydney. And they're all committed to play the Grand Slams and the 9 main tournaments. And if they don't, they get a no-pointer, we called it. They have to count it as a no-pointer in their total.
Which affects their ranking quite significantly.
Here's a chance for Agassi.
The first real hint of a little bit of tension or lack of concentration. 2 doubles in a row.
And the 6th now, altogether. Oh, what a recovery. A little bit slow moving in behind that one down the line, but now Agassi's reading it.
15-14.
He was on his way, wasn't he? You see here, he was over. But it was an excellent approach. I mean, just, you know, centimetres inside the baseline, but a slap kind of forehand and just came back too quick.
13-14.
We'll be looking for another one of those, JB, at 187, that serve.
First break points that Kafelnikov has faced since the 5th game of the first set. And there is the break. So a momentary lapse from Kafelnikov
Agassi leads 5 games to 3.
allows Agassi the first break of serve in the 2nd set. Well, we'll see whether the weakening of his resolve will continue or whether he'll be able to put it behind him and break back. Well, that was in. I thought it was going to be out.
Wonderful return. That's a great doubles return right there. I think perhaps he snuck that one from there. Look, he's just sort of managed to hook it across court, almost into the doubles alley, but falling short for the singles.
Well, the momentum is changing right here.
13-15.
And one of those heavy, heavy serves.
This was a beautifully whipped forehand. That was a good slice, stayed low, and you see you have Jenny having to really get over it with topspin to pull it down into the court. Once again, he's going over the high part of the net. It was a lovely, lovely shot, well executed.
Well, was that ever a courageous shot?
Must admit, I was holding my breath on that one. The first time we've seen him employ a drop shot, and it's such a crucial time.
And a perfectly executed one, just clearing the net by a whisker.
I think he sensed, though, he had Kafelnikov pushed back very deep.
So the first set point.
Juice.
Slightly softer one from Agassi, changing the pace.
Advantage Agassi.
Lured Kafelnikov into error there. Second set point.
Juice.
Well, 2 set points and 2 unforced errors from Andre. Just perhaps wanting to get it over with a little quicker than he should have.
And out of your picture, Kafelnikov asking the ball boy for the little device that puts the plastic pieces between the strings to stop them fraying. Oh, again the drop shot. And 2 killing shots from Agassi at the right moment. Here it is again. It looked for all the world as if he was going to open his shoulders, but no. Cuts under the ball.
Advantage
And
Agassi.
again, perfectly executed. And they're not easy.
Not on this court, as I said earlier too, Debbie, because the bounce is rather high. It's the 3rd set point. Let's see what he does here.
Oh, the half-court ball again.
Set up by a good return. A slow second serve, though. I feel like Andre is a little bit tentative right now. 110 is a fairly soft serve in the men's game, and that set up the point for Kafelnikov.
Come on.
Urging himself on.
Advantage Agassi.
So a 4th chance to level the match. And he's done it. And a little sprint to the chair.
6 games to 3.
And Agassi took the 3rd set 6-2. He broke serve in the first game of the 4th. We're going to rejoin the match with Kafelnikov serving at 2-4 down.
Great championships. And there is the sort of depression that I spoke of, which used to afflict him so often in matches, and which, until recently, until this match really, Larry Stefanki has helped him to eradicate. Body language tells opponents a lot.
Well, he's an interesting character, Kafelnikov. He's never short of a good comment for the press, and one of the comments that I think he's made at times, and he made it during this tournament, is there's only 3 guys that can win this tournament, and one's myself and Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi. So coming into this match, he probably doesn't quite believe that he can get through an Agassi or a Sampras. And I think he would feel that if he had got through to a final today and wasn't playing either of those two, that the championship, he could be winning it again.
29.43 now, the winners.
Oh. Just too good.
But alongside that statistic we saw, yes, he's hit more winners, 43 to 30, but he's also hit more unforced errors, 55 to 30. Too good.
His passing shots are just sensational. I mean, that was almost a half volley. His hand-eye is so good. Watch here, he's stretched, he's in a bit of trouble. Short, powerful backswing and little roll of the wrist, and it's a clean winner.
And it was noticeable when he was playing Sampras the other night. Sampras was having to win points 2 or 3 times over. What would normally be winners, they were coming back with interest. Brilliant.
Well, we talk about all the power and how hard that Andre can hit it, but today he showed us some wonderful feel. Now, that's a very difficult shot. He just cups under it with a little bit of slice, back cross court. Fantastic touch and feel also from someone that can hit it so hard.
The word I would use for Agassi at the moment is relentless.
Well, you know for sure he wants insurance. He'd like to go and serve it out. That insurance of a double break and not just the one break.
And he's taking a quite superb shot from Kafelnikov to force the error, and it was a superb cross-court forehand, deep, fast.
The quick served himself a little just there. He's still hanging in there, but that one he really sort of went up for that second serve quickly, and I think forced himself into a double fault. Another break point.
And not by much. Gilbert will be quietly confident at this stage, I'm sure, very pleased with the present state of affairs. No, it's good again. Can you believe it? Kafelnikov's finding it hard too. Well played.
Deuce.
Good volley. He just managed to squeeze that inside the line. And that's what Andre's making him do, is have to hit the line. And that's enormous pressure to win a point. It's like you said, Joe, he's having to win it almost twice. And if not twice, he's forced to hit it so well that something unforced happens.
And you could have plucked that rally and placed it in the first set, because that was exactly what was happening for so much of that set. But keeping up this level of intensity and accuracy has been beyond Kafelnikov for so much of this match. And that's all about the pressure that's built up in his mind.
Every time he plays a good point, like a strong, solid point like the one previous, he has to try and back it up again, and that's hard to do, and then he puts in a double. If there are any young players watching this match right now, I'd tell them to have a look at the way Andre Agassi returns, and if you can just watch where he starts and then where he hits the ball from. He starts about 3 feet behind the line. And by the time he actually hits the ball, he's well inside the baseline. And that's why he's so good, is because he has his body weight and momentum moving forward all the time on that return. On that occasion, the serve just a little bit too good for him to control. But for a young player, it's an excellent thing to watch.
So it's the longest game of the match. We've had 7 deuces. Forced into error again. And this is what I was meaning about the relentlessness of Agassi. He never, ever takes off the pressure.
He hits so hard from both sides, too. It's not just from one wing, it's from both. And that is hard when you don't get a shot in a point where you can, get some wind.
Oh, he won't get that one. But there he was, winning the point 4 times.
Yeah. Fantastic. One of the best points of the match, this one. There it is. He still gets that one back and makes him play a difficult low volley, a very tough ball to control on the full stretch. Kafelnikov did it well. Another game point.
Oh, it's cruel to watch.
Just every time he plays a great point, Andre just doesn't let him get a free one. You've got to be thinking every time you're going up to serve, where should I serve it? Where can I get something that I can be aggressive off? There it is, an ace. That's about the only way.
And remember, the previous 2 service games had been love games to Kafelnikov. He'll remember this one. Oh, yes, Agassi thought it was going to be called out. It wasn't. And applause for Kafelnikov.
Agassi leads
And I venture to suggest that in all his career, he's never had to work harder to win one service game.
No, not like that game, but full credit to him for getting through it, because if he is going to try and get out of this match, he had to win that game, obviously. But he's really stood up and played with a lot of heart, and that's great to see from Yevgeny.
9 deuces there were. He saved 4 break points and in the end prevailed. But what must he be thinking sitting there? He played his very best tennis, and most of the time it isn't good enough. Agassi comes up with something better.
And when I think on occasions when that does happen, you just have to get back out there and you just have to keep saying, okay, I'm just going to give you what I can give you, and if you do lapse, then I get an opportunity to come through.
I remember what the boys in the old professional days used to say about Lew Hode, the late Lew Hode, whose best tennis was better than anybody else's at that time. But they used to say, against him on a hot patch, you just had to weather the storm and hope it would blow itself out and then have a go at him. And it's rather the same here.
Absolutely. And if he is going to break back into this set, then he needs to try to get the first point in the game and get a love 15 start so that he can build on something. And if Andre gets if he gets the first point, then we often see him going away swinging, and he dictates.
Oh, 3 miraculous shots in a row from Agassi. You can't believe it. The first return of serve was a winner, virtually.
Well, this was a wonderful approach shot, and Andre Agassi, there it is, look, close to the line, and he gives it a shot he doesn't hit very much, a slice passing shot, and he just floats it and controls it down onto the line. Well, 2 points in a row. Kafelnikov has hit the baseline with the return. And the one prior, obviously, he didn't win. This one, he just jammed Andre right at the feet, but right on the line. So he's keeping a good standard going. High level. Well,
perhaps this is the lapse for which he must have been praying. For his sake, let's hope so. Well, the sands of time are running through the hourglass now, and I can't see how he's going to stop their progress.
Wonderful first serve again. 30-all, big point. Gets a strong first serve in and got a weakish reply off of the return. Sets up game point to go ahead 5-3.
Well, here is the moment that Agassi will want to pounce. 4 points between him and a second title here. New balls. Perfect start with his 12th ace.
Well, just phenomenal hitting off the ground. I don't think I've really seen anybody hit the ball much better off the ground than what Andre is right now.
He certainly lifted his game to new heights, hasn't he? Carrying on where he left off at the end of last year. Beaten, it's true, by Sampras in a memorable performance in the Hanover match, the ATP Tour Championship, the last match they played last year. Well played, Kafelnikov.
Agassi leads 5 games to 4.
So Agassi standing on the brink of what would be a quite superb second title here. Only 9 top seeds, which he is, have won the Australian title in the Open era. And he would join illustrious company, men like Lendl, Courier, Sampras. And I think if indeed he can do this, he would stand alongside them in quality quite worthily.
Absolutely.
You're looking at a man who has invented a new way of playing, standing on or inside the baseline and hitting blazing ground strokes without error. It's very difficult to see a way of beating that.
And almost like half volleys also. And that takes incredible timing. There's been great ground strokers in the past, but they predominantly have stood a little further behind the baseline and in a way tried to wear down their opponents. And Andre does it another way where he steps in and tries to sort of outplay them, out-hit them.
So terrific applause for both men, because certainly Kafelnikov has contributed hugely to this superb final. Superb in the sense that the quality of hitting has been remarkable. Serving now for the title.
One thing that we probably will not see, JB, here is Andre Agassi get tentative. He's not a tentative player.
I don't think we will.
Even with nerves, he'll still be going for it.
Looks as if he's going to finish it in style. That 8th ace has produced 3 championship points. No, a fault. A lot of people thought that was an ace, but there was a bleep. Just long. That's it.
3 sets to 1. 3-6, 6-3, 6-2, 6-4.
And he's receiving a standing ovation. He'll come and recognize all 4 quarters of the arena. Yes, heart indeed. And he's made this custom his own. Quite a showman, and what else would you expect from a man born and raised in Las Vegas? Well, that's the moment he's been waiting for. That's the reason he came to Melbourne. And he's done it in magnificent style. He won't be concerned much about the $755,000 he's won, because that'll just go with the other millions, but it's the title that matters.
Well, Andre, congratulations. Is it days like this that, when you were coming back from having slipped out of the world's top 100, it's days like this that gave you the motivation?
Yeah, you dream about this, but to be quite honest, at that stage, you're just thinking about a day better, and even a step forward in a small sense is worth the effort all along the way. But there's no question, you work so hard, and when you get to be out there in that environment, you realize why you work so hard.
But every Grand Slam is special. How will you view this one?
Oh, I had to work hard for this one. I had some brutal matches, and I'm real proud of it, because you know, I said I wanted to win. It was important to me. I trained hard for it during a time of the year when most people are relaxing, and I'll view it as a great accomplishment.
It was a very competitive start for both of you, but Yevgeny won the games, went up 4-love, took the first set. What did you change, or what did you...
I really didn't change much. I mean, he played great to go out to a 4-love lead. I just kept executing my shots, and I knew if I could turn it into a physical match, if we could have long rallies, that he wouldn't quite play to that same standard for too long. It's just not possible. And sure enough, I managed to get back in the first set enough to at least make him work hard to win it. And then it developed into more of a physical confrontation, and I managed to kind of slowly get the lead.
Now, the relentless power was obvious. You also put in some great drop shots, which I felt was a sort of a dying shot in men's tennis. But do you feel that variety and everything that you're playing is the best you've ever played?
No question, I'm playing the best I've ever played, but it's not the drop shot that shows how well I'm playing. It's I think the focus and me moving well, and that's the key to my game.
But the power and that together is like, I mean, it's a different style.
It is, but today was strategic, because he spends so much of his time behind the baseline so far that it's hard to go through him with pace, you know, and because he feeds off of it. So if I made him respect that might happen, he'd have to step up a little bit, which would bring out my game a little bit more when I started hitting the ball.
And last question, I know it's happened to you all week, you've had to answer questions about the Grand Slam. Do you just feel now that the fact that the surfaces are so different and men's tennis is that much stronger, that it, you know, you don't really want to discuss it? Is that the reason?
Well, I don't discuss, I mean, I guess it sounds like I'm going to have to start discussing it, but I just think it's an absurd thought to think about one person winning all the slams these days. I mean, I'm certainly going to go out there and make somebody have to beat me, but you still got to win 7 matches, and I'll do my part by trying.
Andre Agassi with Sue Barker, another great win for him. Whatever he's doing, it's working. Great display of tennis. His next date, a Davis Cup tie for the United States against Zimbabwe. And talking of the Davis Cup.
Come